Hey Dragon Slayers, today's video is my first 21 day fast part 2 from Jimmy Moore. Don't forget to like and subscribe because it really helps the channel out. Let's get started. So predictably, Jimmy lost weight on this fast. 19 pounds in fact. While that wasn't his primary purpose, it was nice to see that little side effect. Most fascinating to Jimmy was the fact that 16 pounds had stayed off when he checked 1 month after ending the fast. That was really cool. And because he's such a nerd when it comes to health markers, he, of course, ran a series of blood tests before and after his 17.5 day fast to see what impacts it had had. Some of those results were predictable, but others took him by surprise. Here is what happened to various blood markers prior and immediately after his fast. His total cholesterol went from 295 to 195. His LDL-C went from 216 to 131. His HDL-C went from 61 to 50. His triglycerides went from 90 to 68. His LDL-P went from 2,889 to 1664. His small LDL-P went from 1446 to 587, and his LPA went from 441 to 143. The fasting insulin went from 13.9 to 10.0, and his hsCRP went from 1.6 to 0.94. Most of those numbers are related to cardiovascular health, including advanced cholesterol tests. You can learn more about cholesterol numbers in his book that he released in 2013 called Cholesterol Clarity. But let me interpret what happened here for you. Did you see anything that kind of stuck out more than the others? Yep, it was the cholesterol. The total cholesterol dropped 100 points in less than 3 weeks of fasting without the need for any cholesterol lowering medications like statin drugs. As patients we're often told that drugs are the only way to get our cholesterol down so we won't have a heart attack. And yet there's a totally drug-free way of lowering cholesterol. Jimmy's HDL-C was also known as the good cholesterol, predictably fell from 16 to 51 during the fast. One of the basic materials needed for HDL cholesterol is fat, especially saturated fat. So when you don't consume any food at all, you can expect your HDL to drop. But most of the reduction in the total cholesterol number was in the LDL-C, which dipped from 216 to 131. But this doesn't tell the entire story about the improvements to his heart health. Fasting did something that he never has seen any pharmaceutical drug do before. The advanced lipid profile, known as the NMR lipid profile test, the actual number of LDL particles and the size of those particles. When he began fasting, the total LDL particles, also known as the LDL-P, was 228.89, and the small LDL-P, the truly bad LDL, was 1446. After the fast, those numbers dropped to 1664 and 587 respectively, representing a significant improvement, but perhaps the most stunning result of all,
these tests was that the LPA, or the lipoprotein A risk factor in the development of cardiovascular disease. His initial LPA of 441 was extremely high and always has been, and it plummeted to 143. That's a powerful indicator of the therapeutic effects of fasting. The final two blood tests were for fasting insulin, also known as the CRP, high sensitivity C-reactive protein. It's a key inflammation marker. And the good news is that those numbers weren't bad before he started and only got even better after the fast. There was nearly a 4-point drop in the fasting insulin, and his hsCRP fell almost in half. All in all, the numbers showed that his 3-week fast was a great success, but Jimmy wasn't finished yet. So that's what I've got for you guys today. Don't forget to like and subscribe because it really helps the channel out. And remember, guys, that together, you and I will slay the dreaded diabetes dragon.